Could you hear me?
Maybe you have to sit down.
I would like to call to order the meeting of the North Kingstown School Committee for the purpose of swearing in the new members of the school committee. Title 42 of the State of Rhode Island, the open meeting laws, we will have to adhere to it and strictly. The meeting was designed purposely for the swearing in of officers. May we all stand and say the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the
the
flag
flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Dr. Thornton, do you have a hand? I will first stand.
Roll call.
Yes. As Dr. Thornton get the mic, we will have the roll call by the secretary. Please.
Linda Avanzato.
Here.
Mel Boyd Benson.
Here.
April Brunel. Here. Larry Cerisi.
Here.
Kimberly Page.
Here.
Douglas Roth.
Here.
Richard Welch.
Here.
Thank you. Tonight, we will be given recognition to 3 of our members who will not be back with us. As you know, public service is something that people do from the heart. It's a hard job, but you have to, it's almost like a calling to be a good physician, a good attorney, or a good athlete. You have to work at it. And tonight, we have 2 outstanding members of our school committee. One is not coming back because of illness. And of course, by the grace of God, it could happen to all of us. So before I say his name, let's observe a minute of silence that he was able to be here with us tonight. Mr. Douglas Roth. Thank you. Would April Brunel and Mr. Douglas Roth please come to the front of the podium?
Take those.
Most females develop their interests in education and in schools when they first began to be a kindergarten mother. And you went through that. You have 2 children in our school system. Not only were you active in the kindergarten, but you were very active when I came on the board at the middle school. And you're still active at the high school. So I hope that this will not be the termination of your activity and working with the school department. I see you have 1 more to go, and I think he's a junior, isn't he? Senior. Okay, so let's not let this be the termination night. On behalf of the Senate in the state of Rhode Island, you have a citation from Senator Jim Shin. These are very awesome to read, audience, and I'm sure if you've been in anything, you probably know it by rote. But I will read this one. State of Rhode Island, Providence Plantation, a Senate citation. Be it hereby known that by all that the state of Rhode Island hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to April Brunel in recognition of your years of service on the North Kingstown School Committee from the year 206 to 210. This is signed by the Senate President, Theresa Piver Weed, the Senate Majority Leader, Daniel P. O'Connor, and Senator James Shin, who is our senator from North Kingstown. So on behalf of Senator Shin, may I present this to you? Thank you. I'm sure with your years of service that your wall is like a museum, but we want to be a part of that mosaic. So in recognition of your service to the North Kingstown School Committee, the students and the community, and you, those of you in the community, let's give a clap. Recognize your 4 years of service, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
And as I said, don't let this be the termination of your involvement in the schools of North Kingstown. Mr. Roth, it's something like going up a river stream, you know, and you get to a point, and I can say it to you because where the Kansas meet the Missouri, and the Missouri River flows into the Mississippi, and it all becomes the mighty Mississippi.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I can present this to you and say, I guess he started off as the Missouri River. I was the Kansas River, but somewhere we both had to emerge due to nature and our love of children and became the mighty Mississippi.
You better believe it.
Mr. Roth, on behalf of the Rhode Island Senate and requested by Senator Jim Shin, the wording is the same. They offer you their sincerest congratulations for your year of service on the North Kingstown School Committee. And this was signed by Theresa Piver Weed, President of the Senate, Daniel P. O'Connor, the Senate Majority Leader, and Senator James Shin, and he wishes you the best in what you're going through. Congratulations, Doug. And for the members of the school committee, this you may be able to keep to remember your time, and it wasn't a strain on the budget.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are excused.
Many of you are wondering why she has that job. Well, you know, I used to say that it was more to getting old than Social Security, but you'll have to come out of Oak Hill Cemetery before you can get Social Security now. That's how long they pushed it back. But I am the oldest member on the school committee, and the bylaws require that I recognize the outgoing members and call up the present new members who have been elected. And I just want to say this. I've had many jobs and I've been on quite a few committees, a very extensive life, because when I came here in '64, when I look back over it, teaching school is a political deal. And it's much more so now than it was then, because you have to learn to interact with parents who could be classified as your constituents. You have to interact with the children, which you are there for. And it's a nice thing. And for someone to give their service and also to run for any office now, I think democracy has gotten off at the wrong exit in America. And I know, because those of you, as myself, know things are not what they used to be. And I have a book that I read about a month ago. It was on New York Times bestseller list. It said, "Take My Country Back" by Irving Willis. And I think if some of you will read it, you'll understand how brave and courageous it is for people to want to serve and be in the government that's designed for the people, by the people, and of the people. But the people are kind of, three individuals. So if you're in office, you are to be congratulated. And if you're retiring, you need a crown. So now we're here for the main business, which is to introduce and have the introduction of our new school committee. With the new members who was elected in November, please come to the front. You may come closer and turn so you can face the audience. Mrs. Page. Yes. Mr. Cerisi, even though you're a veteran, it's a new term. I must say before, it's Representative Carter in the audience. Well, he isn't, so we always have Plan B. Our school attorney will come around along with myself and the superintendent. Okay.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Rhode Island, obey the laws of the United States of America and the state of Rhode Island, in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter, and ordinances of the town of North Kingstown. I will always keep the benefit of the students in the forefront of decisions I make, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of a school committee member. Congratulations.
The next duty that we'll have to perform tonight, due to state law and charter, and you're very much aware of what we have to do because they just said it. We will have to open up for the election of officers. I think we have 2 officers that we are going to elect tonight, the president and the vice chair. So the committee is open for nominations. Please speak loudly for the secretary can hear you.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Mudge.
I would like to nominate Kim Page as the school committee chairman, please.
I neglected to say that we will take other nominations and then we will vote in order of the way they were nominated. Before we have the second.
Second.
Our legal advisor tells me that we have to vote and get a second on the nomination as we proceed. Do I hear second?
Go ahead, Katie.
Second.
Mrs. Page has been nominated as chairman. It has been duly second. Is there any questions or comments before you take your mic? Okay. It's not debatable. So we will go to the roll call vote. I didn't read them, I'm sorry. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Linda Avanzato?
No.
Mel Boyd Benson?
I'm in charge, so I reserve to be the last voter.
Okay. Larry Cerisi?
No.
William Mudge?
Yes.
Kimberly Page?
Yes.
Joe Thompson?
Yes.
Richard Welch?
No.
Mel Boyd Benson?
Being the chairperson and in charge of the nomination, the chair, what are the votes now, please? Would you announce for the public can hear?
Voted what? Is that right?
No, the numbers.
3-3.
3-3. So I'm in the position to break the tie, and I vote no. Is there other nominations? Yes, Mrs. Avanzato.
I would like to nominate Richard Welch for vice chair and Larry Cerisi for chair.
Oh, you don't have to.
No, they're both for chairman.
No, she's making a motion for Larry for chair,
Mhm.
and for vice chair. Vote on that, and then if that doesn't...
We'll have to take them one at a time. We'll vote on them separate, Mrs. Avanzato. One at a time.
Point of order, I'd like a legal opinion on that, whether or not
Okay.
I'm able to make the nomination together that way.
You may give your opinion. Here you go.
Mrs. Benson, you're running the meeting, so it's
Okay,
your
so
call.
I'm asking
but
for your
okay,
advice as a legal attorney.
You can't, if the nomination has been made as a team, you need to vote on that nomination. You can vote it up and you can vote it down. If someone prefers later on to split it, then they should vote no, and then we would nominate them each separately. So you need to vote on this first, because there's a motion and a second on the floor, and then if that doesn't pass, you can then make it as separate motions. So you need to vote on the motion that's on the floor first.
Thank you for your legal opinion.
I second that motion.
The motion has been made and second. Do I hear a question? It's non-debatable. Would you have a roll call, please, of the members?
Larry Cirisi.
Yes.
William Mudge.
No.
Kimberly Page.
No.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Richard Welch.
Yes.
Linda Avanzato.
Yes.
Mel Boyd Benson.
No.
Okay, now you can ask for another nomination.
Now we will go back and ask for another nomination, and I would urge the committee, which is permissible in Robert's Rules of Orders, that you can take it singly to make your nomination singly. Mrs. Page.
I nominate Bill Mudge for chair.
Do I hear a second? Mr. Mudge has been nominated, but there is no second.
Second.
So we'll have to take another nomination.
Just tell me. Excuse me.
You did second it, Mr.?
I'm sorry, I was slow to the second. I will second Mr. Mudge.
Okay, it is non-debatable. So it is before the members now. The name of Mr. William Mudge. We'll take a roll call vote.
Larry Cirisi.
No.
William Mudge.
Yes.
Kimberly Page.
Yes.
Joe Thompson.
Yes.
Richard Welch.
No.
Linda Avanzato.
No.
Mel Boyd Benson.
No.
I'd like to make a nomination.
Yes, Mr. Welch.
I'd like to nominate myself as chair and Larry Cirisi as vice chair.
Can be a long time, Joe.
Can we do that? But we just spoke about double, putting a team together. I would like to poll the committee and see if they would like to vote.
We've already allowed one vote to take place.
If they would like to vote on the team separately, singly, or as a team. Call the roll. And I would like for all of you to understand.
Point of order? Point
Yes.
of order, please. We have a legal opinion already that we permitted a team vote, so I would think we need to be consistent in the voting, and I would ask for another legal opinion as to whether we can permit some and not others. Doesn't seem consistent or fair.
For fairness, Mrs. Avanzato, I will turn the mic over so that the citizens will be well informed at what way she came up with her legal opinion. I think you owe it to the audience.
There's a motion on the floor to nominate Mr. Welch, to two people, Mr. Welch, I believe, and Mr. Cirisi. That motion is on the floor. Was there a second to that motion? There was a second to that motion for Mr. Cirisi. You need to vote that motion up or down. If you vote it down, then you can separate at the next motion. But because there's a motion on the floor, you need to vote the motion. There's no amendment to a chair and a vice chair nomination. This is not voting for chair is not a motion that can be amended. So you need to vote it up or down and then turn around, and if it doesn't pass, put another motion on.
I'm not voting for that. All right, absolutely not.
At the advice of our attorney, we will take a vote, and if it doesn't pass, we will go to a single vote. Please have a roll call.
William Mudge.
We are voting on a team, members.
No.
Kimberly Page.
No.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Richard Welch.
Yes.
Linda Avanzato.
Yes.
Larry Cirisi.
Yes.
Mel Boyd Benson.
No. So at this point, we would entertain another motion. The motion to vote as a team failed, and at this point, we will entertain a separate motion for chair. Yes, Mrs. Alfazano.
I will make a motion for Larry Cirisi for chair, Kim Page for vice chair.
Second.
I would have to ask you for a legal opinion because I think we are getting off on the wrong way. And I see quite a few attorneys here, but you are our legal opinion and our hired legal expert for the entire school committee. Okay, just want that known.
Once again, there is a motion on the floor, a motion and a second. Vote the motion, and then if it fails, put another motion on. But the motion that's on the floor needs to be voted on first. Then you can go to another motion.
Thank you, Attorney Carroll. So will the secretary call the roll, please?
Kimberly Page.
You are voting on the motion. Would you read the motion?
Yeah, you can read me.
Would you read the motion?
Cirisi as chair, Kimberly Page as vice chair.
No.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Richard Welch.
Yes.
Linda Avanzato.
Yes.
Larry Cirisi.
Yes.
William Mudge.
No.
Mel Boyd Benson.
Before I make my vote, I have a legal question. I cannot vote as a team.
Then if you can't vote as a team, vote no and make another motion.
I vote no.
Another motion.
Would you read the tally so the audience could hear it?
The motion failed 3-4.
3-4. Now, is it permissible? Let me. Now we will entertain another motion. I'll recognize Mr. Cirisi first and then Mr. Thomason. And be aware that we are voting on two people having to make a motion. Yes, Mr. Cirisi.
Thank you, Mrs. Benson. I'd like to nominate Mr. Welch for chair and Mrs. Advisano for vice chair.
Mr. Thomason?
No, you got to second his and then.
Someone have to second your motion and then Mr. Thomas.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded by Mr. Cirisi and Mr. Welch. So we will be voting on a double motion again. Call the roll, Mrs. Jarrow.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Richard Welch.
Yes.
Linda Avanzato.
Yes.
Larry Cirisi.
Yes.
William Mudge.
No.
Kimberly Page.
No.
Mel Boyd Benson.
No. As chair, I would like to make a motion. I'm chairing this meeting, and I would like to make a single motion. I nominate Mr. Richard Welch as chair. Do I hear a second? Maybe the committee didn't hear me. I nominate Mr. Richard Welch as chair. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that Mr. Richard Welch is nominated for chair of the North Kingstown School Committee. I will now entertain a vote from the other members of the committee. Will you call the roll, Mrs. Jarrow?
Richard Welch.
What happened? You voted for yourself double. Don't you like to travel alone?
Yes.
Linda Avanzado.
Yes.
Larry Cerisi.
Yes.
William Mudge.
No.
Kimberly Page.
No.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Mel Boyd Benson.
Yes.
All right, there is a chair.
Mrs. Benson, now who takes over?
I know that. I have some remarks. Mr. Welch, as new chair of the North Kingstown School Committee, look at me.
Yes, ma'am.
As chair of the North Kingstown School Committee, you're not a neophyte. You're well seasoned. I don't have to talk about the duties and what you're supposed to do because you're a gentleman, you're a businessman, which is good for the taxpayers with all the taxes they are putting on businesses. And you, with my help and the other members of this committee, we will have a successful 2 years. And it gives me great pleasure, please stand. It gives me great pleasure to turn the gavel over to you. And congratulations. I will remain in my seat because you're next to me. There you go.
Okay. I guess the next order of business would be to take nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chairman? Oh.
Mrs. Avanzado, please.
Nominate Larry Cerisi for vice chair.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second. Secretary, please read the roll.
Linda Avanzado.
Yes.
Mel Boyd Benson.
No.
Larry Cerisi.
Yes.
William Mudge.
No.
Kimberly Page.
No.
Joe Thompson.
No.
Richard Welch.
Yes. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Sorry. Mr. Thompson, please.
Kimberly Page.
Is there a second for Kimberly Page for
Aye.
vice chair?
Aye. Second.
There's been a motion and a second for Kimberly Page for vice chair. Madam Secretary, would you please read the roll?
Mel Boyd Benson.
Yes.
Larry Cerisi.
No.
William Mudge.
Yes.
Kimberly Page.
Yes.
Joe Thompson.
Yes.
Richard Welch.
No.
Linda Avanzado.
No.
Okay, we now have a vice chair. If it pleases the committee, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Nice meeting. 5:34.